Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most famous serial killers in America named Ted Bundy. He grew up in the 1970s, and around this time the typical house cost about $23,000. And also during this time, Bill Gates had just created Microsoft and the Vietnam War had ended, so it was a pretty great time for people until Ted Bundy came along. Because he did commit a series of 30 to 40 murders around 1974 to 1978. So today I'm going to talk to you about why Ted Bundy was considered one of the worst serial killers in America. Here's some history on Ted Bundy and his early life. So Ted Bundy grew up with a mother, but he did not have a father that he knew of. On his birth certificate, it was listed as unknown, but there were some rumors going around that maybe it was his mother's father, actually, so his grandpa. But anyways, so he grew up being raised by his grandparents. They were told that they were his parents. That's what he thought, that they were his parents, and that his mother was his older sister, and he didn't find out till a little bit later in life. He was a very antisocial kid, according to biography.com. He was a fellow Boy Scout, remembered Bundy once coming from behind him and hitting him over the head with a stick. He would also dig holes in the ground and fill them with snakes for kids to step in, which was a very cruel and unusual thing for a child to do. Due to this type of violence, they say that Bundy could have committed his first murder at the age of 14, but that hasn't been proven. Now I want to talk about Ted Bundy's murders more closely. His first reported incident took place in Washington when a college student, 18-year-old Karen Sparks, she was sexually assaulted with a metal rod, but she did end up surviving. She just spent 10 days unconscious. And during his span, over time, about one college student would go missing every month, which started to become, suspect to the police. He then moved to Utah to go to law school at Salt Lake City and continued to murder people there. So the trail kind of followed him as he went to other states. He, according to allthat'sinteresting.com, he was unaware of the law enforcement growing. Like, he didn't know that he was being followed by police, and so he continued to murder people. And according to CNN, the defendant is an unlikely looking murder suspect, so they thought that he was pretty handsome, and because he was a law student, they really didn't think that he could do these kind of things. But he did confess to killing about 30 women in his lifetime. After all these horrendous murders, let's discuss him finally being caught and what exactly happened. His first arrest took place. He was arrested, and after they had suspected him of doing these murders, he ended up escaping out of a 2-story floor. He jumped out of the window because he was given time alone for some reason. The second time he was arrested, he was pulled over for a traffic stop for speeding and was sent to jail in a prison cell. He dug out of that cell, climbed through the ceiling, and escaped. And then finally, his third and last time, he was arrested for speeding again and was taken to jail for the last and final time. But during his escapes, he did continue to murder women. He never stopped. So after hearing about all these horrible crimes that Ted Bundy committed, I hope that you can see how he was one of the worst serial killers and how he fooled the general public into thinking that he was some handsome lawyer. And according to Joseph Eloy, who was a defense investigator, he said that I would describe him as being as closely to the devil as anyone I've ever met. Ted Bundy was sentenced to the electric chair and went down saying that he had committed 30 murders, but the number that he actually committed is unknown. They'll never know. And I hope that after telling you all this, I can convince you that he is one of the worst serial killers in the world and inform you how he could be the very definition of heartless evil. Thank you.